Well, Sarah, thank you for joining us. Do you want to just share some of the plight that you went through in terms of breast cancer?
Absolutely, and thank you so much for having me today and partnering with the National Breast Cancer Foundation. I was 36 years of age, or 36 years young, and found a lump in my breast when I was in the shower. When you're 36, you certainly don't think that it's going to be anything scary or disastrous, and I thought I'll leave it a little bit, then just go get it checked. I'm pretty proactive that way. I had a great GP. I went for an ultrasound, and I probably should have known when the ultrasound technician said, please come back and please do not wait.
Okay.
And within a week or so of that appointment, I was diagnosed with stage 3 hormone-positive breast cancer. So it's not something that runs in my family, so it was a complete shock. Certainly didn't have anyone in my friendship group at that age that had been through that. So really just spent, I guess, the first few weeks on the floor, really. I had a 5-year-old and a 9-year-old at the time. My littlest was just starting kindy that month. And really that kicked off the first 12 months of my treatment. So that was a pretty full-on 12 months. Pretty full-on. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm going to quote you from your own bio. You mentioned something that is quite sensitive. It's very emotional, and of course, Sammy and I are right behind it with the 350 staff members promoting breast cancer awareness. And you mentioned that when you're diagnosed with breast cancer, and you join this special group.
Absolutely.
That nobody wants to be the member of. Do you want to share some feelings about how you felt when you were in this special group?
You always want to be in the in-group, just not that in-group. I think at the end of the day, you hear a lot about people suffering with different diseases, whether it be cancer, lung diseases and bits and pieces. And I like to think I have a lot of empathy. They call me the empathy engine at work. Okay. And you think you understand what people are going through. And not long before I was diagnosed, I had a friend who was diagnosed with bowel cancer, and it hit me very hard. And I thought, I understand what she's going through. She's got children, and it's not until you're faced with it yourself and you have that complete full-on experience, you can really start to understand, I guess, the thought processes that go through your own mind, as well as your family, my partner, my children, my parents. And so you're walking around in a little bit of a daydream. I like to think it's almost like being in, a glass box or a shower where you can see what's going on, but you can't quite stretch your hands out to really get past it. And you want to stop in the street and just stop everyone and say, excuse me, do you know I have breast cancer? Can you believe this? And that's even before you get to the point of going through chemotherapy, losing your hair, having your surgeries and bits and pieces. And so I think awareness is a really tough task to deliver, I think. And you don't want people to know what it feels like. I certainly say to my girlfriends and my friends, don't lose your naivety. I wish I had it back. I wish I wandered around and didn't know as much as I do, but unfortunately I do, so I can only do what I can to make sure that people don't experience that. And that's what National Breast Cancer is about. At the end of the day, 57 people in Australia every day are diagnosed with breast cancer. So that's 1 every 2 hours, men and women. So if we can start building and creating that awareness, we will start to increase our detection rates. And with the research that NBCF do, we're not government funded, so any donations that we can certainly field will go a lot further to furthering that research, and maybe there will come a day where we have 0 deaths from breast cancer, which is what we're after.
So for all the viewers that are watching this video, Sarah, what are some of the learning points that you can share that brings the awareness to the table, so all of Australia comes to know the dire and devastation that breast cancer can cause to families and to individuals involved?
Sure. So we know it's 57 people across Australia. Everybody knows, or I'm yet to come across someone that doesn't know someone who's been impacted by breast cancer or cancer in general. So the more we start to talk about it, the more we will actually start to connect those dots with people, and they'll actually start to understand what dire need there really is in this space. As a mother of 2 young boys, I can tell you now that the fear that I experienced from day one does not dissipate. It is still there. I certainly feel a lot more powerful now that I've finished treatment, but I certainly don't feel invincible. And so if I can speak to men and women and I can say all you need to do is know your breasts, check them regularly, go to the doctor if you're concerned. At the end of the day, coming along and having a meal here will go a long way to helping NBCF. It will go a long way to helping you or those friends around you. With those diagnosis rates so high, why, unfortunately, moving into the future, you will come across someone who has had breast cancer or who has been impacted by breast cancer. And we talk about men having it as well. And yes, it's a lesser statistic, but they're still there. And sometimes because it's not as, we're not as aware about males having breast cancer too, some of that can be left and people don't get themselves checked and treated. Any woman who's here on Mother's Day, certainly, I'm really excited that they will experience this meal here because it looks incredibly exciting, and the fact that you will be bringing this awareness with breast cancer is an amazing thing. We cannot thank you enough as an organisation for partnering with us.
Sami.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for taking the time and coming, and
You're welcome.
we're glad you're on the road of recovery, and I hope everything is okay.
Thank you so much.
Guys, come along this Mother's Day weekend. We have 2 deals on special. For each $2 bag sold, we'll be donating that to the NBCF. So please come along, support the foundation and support Kickin'Inn. We've got 350 staff looking after you. Come and join the fun.